You talk about a young man in the congregation that had like set these remarkable goals and achieved those. I always love to hear those stories.
Yeah, that's good.
So he was 15 when I met him. He was a product of teenage parents. He didn't live with his parents, he lived with his grandparent. He couldn't get anywhere. He was from the wrong zip code. There was no funding, there was no money in his family, and yet he is currently the CEO of a very prominent organization that if I named it right now, you would know it. And he did it one step at a time, just setting the goals, going after them, not stopping because of his past. God doesn't look at where we've been. He knows where we've been.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew where we were going to be before he even created us. But our past doesn't define us, it prepares us.
That's good. Yes.
That's
I
good.
believe
Take a moment, if you would, Nicole, and just speak to someone watching right now that you've been sitting there and you were actually rehearsing that in your mind. You're saying, you don't know what I've done. You don't know where I've been. You don't know mistakes I've made. Well, Jesus changes all of that. I mean, when he comes into our heart and our life and forgives us and becomes Lord of our life, it's like a clean slate that begins, and you can begin again. Just encourage that person because you know what that feels like, Nicole.
Adopted, foreclosed on, bankrupt, physically abused, molested, raped, bullied. These are all words that just describe me. God doesn't use you because of you. God uses you in spite of you. And what the enemy meant for evil, God really does turn around and use for our good. But he will not use us without our permission. And I really hope today that's what you're understanding is God is not trying to encourage you, or he's looking for your permission. Yeah. He said, do I have permission to use you the way I want to? And it is gonna seem hard, right? Confidence isn't comfortable. Confidence is uncomfortable. Setting goals should be uncomfortable because it requires faith.
Yeah.
When it requires faith, it requires him. Be completely dependent on him. Trust him. He will not let you down. I know beyond a shadow of doubt, he is speaking to you today. So all I'm asking you to do is to take one tiny step, right? Inch by inch, it's a cinch. You don't have to reach the goal. You just have to take one step.
I think where you're at right now, maybe whether it's a good time or a bad time, God's right there and he knows where you're at. I don't think you're watching Joni's program today by accident. And I know for me, same as Nicole, we came from divorce, betrayal, hurt, heartache. And a lot of times you set your goal, but you didn't realize your dad was gonna die, that your spouse was gonna walk out, that this person was gonna betray you. But I mean, there's a story in the Bible that talks about there was this guy who's a rich, said he left, he's a prodigal, and you know the story. And he actually sold everything that he had, lived a crazy life, but it said, I've decided today I'm gonna go home. And he started walking home, and the father, representing God, was standing in the driveway waiting, not like this, but like this. I've been waiting on you to come home. I'm gonna put a ring on your finger or a robe on your back. I'm not mad at you. I'm madly in love with you. And so I think when you include God in your goals, the rest of your life truly will be the best of your life. And if he did it for us, you knew how jacked up our lives were, you'd be like, oh my gosh, God can really use me. I'm not nearly as messed up as they are. And I promise you he will.
That's awesome. Quickly, vision board.
Oh, vision. So a vision board, our brain works. If we can see a picture, we can get there. So get it in your mind. And then it used to be cutting out pictures, putting it on a board. Now just use some clip art, put it on your phone.
Yeah.
So when you pick up your phone, you can see the skinny you, the happy you, the you writing the book, the you being in the movie, the you at the job, the you at the desk, so you can see it. And then internalizing. I teach you in the book, write your goals every day for 30 days. Write them down, because once they get on the inside of us, once we internalize them, then we can live them.